go? Oh, yeah. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, how goes it? Look at this. Look at the aftermath of so many tests. Alex, just doing a quick live tonight, you guys. It's already late. Neely, how's it going? Gotta gather some of these fragments up. Inu, what's up? E to the RIC, how you doing? Lucas, how you doing? I just said E to the RIC, how you doing? Is it going extraordinarily? It's going alright. It's going alright. Though, is this ASMR? It's definitely, I mean, it might be. If it is to you, then it is to you. Oh, support this project. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing the live. How do I understand the 10th dimension? I think the 10th dimension is hover. How to understand it, I have to get better at explaining that. Did we unlock interdimensional travel yet? Actually, funnily enough, today I want to make my first forays into teleportation. Just really quickly. So, fascinatingly enough, I already created, I just kind of started. I already created the hoverboard. It's in progress. It's in progress. Almost all the progress I've made, I've posted. Well, that's not true, because I did a lot of tests on live, and it's taking me a lot longer to break those ones down. So, but you should get them in the next couple days, and then I'll proceed. I really need to move on to the life size tests. There's only so much more I can do on the regular tests. What's the quantic physics behind this? You think quantum physics? I mean, in my hypothesis, quantum physics is really just a 6-dimensional way of explaining everything. So, I mean, there's that. Let me know so we can talk numbers. Okay, I mean, stop using the cores, they mess things up. Anyway, so today I want to get started on some, I was thinking to make some time machine rings. Because the time machine rings are portals. But it's not that I really want to teleport myself. Maybe I should make some time machine chips. I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and get started. If we think too much with our mind, we won't make progress. And I'm only going to be live for a little bit tonight, guys. But I appreciate you dropping in, thinking of something to say as you go on. Isn't that how everybody thinks about things to say? Or do you think about what you're going to say at the beginning of the day and then you just say those things? Yes, I do think in real time. Dude, you're a genius. Oh, thank you so much. I mean, I really do think everybody's a genius. I mean, we all have brains, you know what I mean? And brains generate genius. That's kind of what they do. Granted, a lot of people are very busy, so they don't really have time to delve into their genius. But if you don't have enough time, all you need is a time machine. All you need is a freaking time machine. So, I'm trying to debate between making 13 time machine rings, which would actually take quite a bit of time. Let's make one time machine ring. And then we'll make a time machine chip. We'll make a few time machine chips. The chips are so much faster to make. Actually, let's just make chips. I'm not going to make a ring right now. Nah, I'm going to make a ring. I'm going to make a ring. Kellen, come on. You don't need an idol, my friend. You are your own idol, bro. You guys are going to see the whole process of me making a time machine ring. Though I have kind of a new process that I made up, but I have not yet implemented. Oh, I actually do have some big news on teleportation. Because, you know how I was talking about teleportation being the 13th dimension. Let's hope I can cut a straight line here. It's not going to be straight, but it'll be fine. Perfection is for the weak. So you know I was talking about teleportation being the 13th dimension. Well, it turns out, it just so happens to turn out that 13 is the sum of what? That was too small. I'm gonna make a slightly larger one because I have it. Actually, let's check it out. It just so happens that 13 is the sum of what? 2 numbers, 6 and 7, my friend. Well, I mean, it's also the sum of 8 and 5. But I find it to be incredibly fascinating. Oh, I got some wax on it. That's unfortunate. That's what happens. So I'm also finding that even though I do have my time machine, there is a problem. Oh, 5K likes. How did that happen already? That's kind of insane. I'm finding that there's some issues here with my time machine not having self-cleaning. So I'm also going to have to invent self-cleaning mode for the time machines. We'll see how that happens. So this is my new strategy for making it. Yeah, that's not going to work. I got to go back to the, make that a little thicker. So what was I talking about? Self-cleaning time machines, yep. Got to do it. The world needs to see this. Well, I mean, 400 people are seeing it right now, which is more than I would have truly ever imagined in my wildest of dreams, to be quite honest with you. All right, let's get it right there. So we're gonna go make it about 3 times larger instead of 2. What was I talking about here? So, teleportation being the 13th dimension and that relating to both 6 and 7. The funny thing about that, and this is just to play around with the concept a little bit, it may be that, wait, what was I going to say? Actually, I don't even remember what I was going to say, so I'll just start over. But I'm thinking there may be some approach to the teleportation in combining effects of both the 6th and 7th dimensions. So I look forward to testing that. But right now I'm going to go straight forward with it at the, and go for a 13th dimensional teleportation configuration, because I actually think that that teleportation might be, you know how I think that, oh man, did I still make this too small? This is pissing me off, man. I'm gonna freaking stick my hand to the freaking thing. So you know how I think that I should use the thinner one. Oh wow. What was I gonna say? Actually, this is perfect. Now that I think about it. I don't even remember what I was saying. Freaking ridiculous. Doing too many things at once. Okay, so you know I think that gravity is the fourth dimension of the force of the fifth dimension. I think teleportation is the force of the 13th dimension. The force. Meaning what? So let's actually just break this down. So you guys are getting a live version of what I actually do in my head. You're doing it completely right, by the way. Thank you so much. What that would mean is that teleportation is actually a natural force. The only problem with that, right, because 13th dimension is not a particularly high dimension. In my hypothesis, there's infinite dimensions. So if the 13, if teleportation is a natural force, then we have to ask ourselves, why don't we see things teleporting all the time? You know, we see gravity everywhere. And my answer for that is a little bit simple. I'm actually just making this up right now, but I'm thinking it out. One reason for that might be the scale at which teleportation occurs. If I'm correct in my scaling of dimensions, let's bring this up a little bit, then, wow, it's filthy. This is why I need self-cleaning time machines, you guys. I actually don't even have a cleansing protocol for the time machines at all. And they are accruing massive amounts of stuff, sorry. But anyway, so this, if I'm correct on the scales, are all dimensions connected? Yes, all dimensions would be connected. They would all be connected. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So if I'm correct on the scales, like I said earlier, the scale of the sixth dimension, it would be our most common scale, which means that the scale of the sixth dimension would be regular items. So it would start around this size on the smallest end, and then the biggest end would be the size of your largest mall. So like think about the mall in your town. That would be like around the size. So the size of everyday human life would be the scale of the sixth dimension. So it gets bigger and bigger from that. The scale of the seventh dimension, what about fuel? Interesting question, making me think. The scale of the seventh dimension would be, on the small end, of course, it would be the big end of the sixth dimension. So your biggest mall, kind of. And then, actually, I'm not putting this in the right place at all. Let's go ahead and make the ring first, then we can cut out our segments. Just making a time machine ring, you guys. So it would keep going up. So the largest scale of the seventh dimension would be like your largest city. And cities only go so large. And part of that would be the reason why we don't have super duper massive cities would be because the centralization force simply doesn't allow it. This is why we don't have large cities. Yeah, I'm making a time machine ring right now. I'm going to make it, for an index finger. So right there. make a, that's not gonna do anything. I'm just doing stuff now. All right, well, let's just hold on to where I put that. Apply some glue. So I've never used glue to make the time machine rings before. Up until now, all of them have been made. Oh, okay, well, I'm about to stick my freaking finger together. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, wow, okay, get off of me. Anyway, so that would be the reason why we don't see cities larger is because the seventh dimension fission force actually simply doesn't allow it. This is what I actually need gloves for. Look at this sloppy ring I've been forced to make. But that's not bad at all. And so keep going up from there. The size of the eighth dimension would be on the smallest end, the size of our biggest cities, and on the largest end, it would be the size of our biggest states. So you think about like the biggest state. And again, the reason for that, I know this is all crazy. I'm just telling you guys what I'm currently researching. Still using the tape, but not to hold it together, simply to standardize the time machine ring. So the largest, oh, now that I think about it, I should have covered this thing right here. Golly, it's like I can't do anything right today. It's because I'm doing it live in front of the hoverheads. You guys are giving me jitters. I'm just joking. But that might be part of why I'm messing up, because if I was doing this by myself, less mistakes. But anyway, satire, no. Need some atom to stabilize. I mean, it's full of atoms. Hoverheads, heck yeah. Hashtag hoverheads all day. So keep going up. Eighth dimension would be on the scale of states. So I can just be kind of simple because I've already given you some of the deets. Eighth dimension would be on the size of states. Ninth dimension would be on the size of either continents or, I know you would think countries, but more likely than not tectonic plates. And then 10th dimension would be the size of planets. The 11th dimension, I am not an F student. I'll have you know my last GPA put me strongly at a C student. Anyway, would be, not that I haven't gotten my fair share of F's, so I guess you're kind of right. But anyway, ninth dimension, tectonic plates. 10th dimension, planets. 11th dimension will be on the scale of stars. And the 12th dimension, I'm sorry, this has been a super long explanation. The 12th dimension will be on the scale of galaxies. And that's where things get interesting. So if the 13th dimension is teleportation, perhaps the reason that we haven't seen it is it exists on the scale of essentially maybe galaxy clusters. And you have to think, we're at such a large scale now, and this is me just thinking it out, that first of all, the amount of force that there is in the 13th dimension to cause teleportation is so low that it just doesn't occur. Maybe, on a frequency even in our lifetime. Let's go ahead and encode this time machine ring. Ooh, can't believe I'm releasing lab secrets here. This is already shaping up to be the most beautiful time machine ring of all time. Wow, this is the best encoded time machine ring of all time, which might make it the most powerful. And the time machine rings are actually called the portals. So it's a good way to study teleportation. Wow. I guess I do say wow too much. But we're not done with the ring yet because I hope I did this correctly. If I didn't, I'm about to be upset. Let's go ahead and cut this. Who said this can't be a job? It's not a job, you guys. I'm not an employee of TikTok. So that might be the issue. Now, how do we solve that? How do we condense the scale of the 13th dimension down? Well, I think we do it all the time. Fractionally, though. So we have teleportation. We just have extremely weak teleportation. And what is the form of teleportation that we have here on the planet? In my in a hypothesis that I'm sort of developing, the teleportation that we have here on the planet is in the form of consumer packaged goods. Check that out. The gold of the time machine coming through. It's kind of necessary for the time machine to operate at its optimum. You know, even though I'm making a lot of mistakes, I'm also making the best time machine ever, which actually proves my hypothesis that filming and publishing, which live is technically publishing, the time machine improves its operating power. So all of these time machines are boosted, even though I've made this many times. But also the number of times I've done it is also helping. Because usually when I do this, I actually mess it up and it frays. Which causes it to decay quickly, which I'm not opposed to because decay is, again, the fourth dimension. So the more decay that occurs, time machine portal right there. So this is going to improve, hypothetically, my activities, any activities that I do with my hands. So now let's move on to making several time machine chips. I'm gonna go ahead and make a new time machine lab because this lab is so freaking dusty that he's damaging all of my creations. Though this lab is going to be short-lived because I'm going to be using it as a cutting surface. Let's go ahead and encode him right up without delay. All right, encoded. Notice how he hasn't gone missing yet. He's onto nothing. Oh, that's an interesting hypothesis. Only I can see that comment, you guys. For some reason, I don't know why TikTok like randomly mutes certain comments. They didn't mute that one though, Plenko. This isn't gonna teleport you anywhere, bro. Well, let's give it a shot. We could quit because somebody doesn't believe in us, as many do, or we could proceed and see what discoveries lay ahead. Where was I at? So so the form of teleportation that we currently have on our planet, as I was saying before, is just extremely weak. And it's so slow that to our brains, it doesn't register as teleportation. And that's actually the first dimension that happens in. The first 12 dimensions, we recognize them for they are. The first 3 dimensions are super duper obvious to us. Fourth dimension is already much less obvious to us. Time is, oh my gosh, terrible. Time is very weird to humans. We don't naturally understand time. We don't need a device on our wrist to tell us much about space, though we do use maps, but those are actually a little bit not so much about space, but it's more of a 5th dimensional concept. But we need a